Linda Alela talked to a couple, Pastor Julius and Dr. Jane Kimani, on how to rekindle love, especially in marriage. Is it possible to maintain love in marriage for years in this day and age? Let's listen into that discussion.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Let's now get to the easy discussion. And when I say easy, it is easy and important. Important because it revolves around our day-to-day lives, especially for the married partners, or better yet, well, couples, so to speak. Because imagine you've been with this person for, first of all, note that this person came from a different world, you came from a different world, you meet at this point, and you've been with them at this point. There's so much love, it's all bubbly, it's all rosy, it's all sweet. Then 1 year down the line, 2 years down the line, well, the fire goes down. Just how do you get to rekindle it? How do you get to keep it burning? It is an interesting conversation. That's why you see me smile, because it is possible. In most cases, you will opt for divorce. In most cases, you want to go your way. But actually, when you go to the other side, the grass is not greener. So we'll have a conversation that will help us, just keeping us going in that relationship and, loving each other every other day. Jovial moments at home. That is not to mean that is, there's going to be absence of troubles and ups and downs. And guess what? The guests of the day, I don't know whether it's right to say is a couple or are a couple. I will want to call them doctors. Doctors, yes. Doctors Julius and Jane Kimani. So what keeps the fire burning?
Number one, hakuna kuzoeana. Men will go outside there, and the Kampango knows my friend how to become a friend. Starting thing, they look for, they take time. Yes. Never be cheated by anyone. Okay. Ati Kampango alingia tu, ati walikutana tu. She took her time. She did due diligence. Okay. She wanted to know, what does this man like? What are his interests? What is his career? Yeah. So perhaps listens or just interacted on Facebook or whatever others fear, and realize this man loves perhaps a certain type of a car, or loves farming, or loves this or the other. What does she do? She will Google and learn.
Research.
When they're talking, she is on point.
Wow.
I think it's also a mentality.
Okay.
Linda, I think all the ladies enter into a relationship with a mentality that men are cheaters. But you see one thing, if you hear a woman who is always thinking you will cheat, you're planting a seed into the mind. Because everything starts from the mind level. Yeah. But the moment you begin to show the dude that you respect him, and he's, it's like the way if you tell a child that I know you perform well. Yes. You release an expectation. You also put a challenge. Okay. So that's the same thing. Now you marry a guy and you say, mi wanaume usijaribu kucheat kama vile wengine wana cheat. Okay. Already you have already created, maybe the guy was not even thinking, but you have already created like an idea that there could be a possibility. Right. I can do this thing. Okay.
So at that time, we are always told that men can really lie. They can really put their card, the worst card down there until you get inside the box, or so to speak. Now and then see. Now they, so.
Now you see.
She said we are told.
There are terrible moments in the family, there are terrible moments within, the relationship. You cannot lie to me, Jane, that you will still be that Linda, that you will still say, let's go out, baby, let's do this and all that.
It is true that most people marry and then they realize she, even her, is not the girl she used to act to be. She was very coy. Alikuwa ni paka ameficha kucha. Kuingia kwa ndoa sasa zimetolewa. And you're wondering, who is this? Who talks like this? Who replies like this? Is this a girl I married? Or is this the man I knew? Yeah. So what do we do? Number one, I tell girls who are not married, take your time before you get married. Get to know this person. Okay. Date for a longer time.
How long is long?
As long as we feel confident that I know his strengths and weaknesses. Wow. The reason why they need helpmate is because they need somebody to work on. The reason why we stay in that marriage is because we are not perfect. Yeah. It's very important to realize none of us is perfect.
You can edit this person. You change this person to a different thing.
You can chisel it to what you want it to become.
Oh, yeah?
You can chisel it to become a monument of great value. Okay. You can put it in the fire. It's what you choose to do. But for a relationship to work, it takes time and it takes patience and it takes possibility mentality.
So in this process of changing this person, in this process of making this person the best for you, is it a little bit unfair? And I mean, can you go to a level where you'll now change them to a totally different person that is not them?
Do you know what happens?
Yes.
I think the greatest change that can begin to change the other person is changing you.
Yourself.
Now become the best that you can be. You know, there are people who make a decision. Kia, I will show him dust. So you have already decided.
Yes.
Ataona vumbi.
Yes.
So and you know, the anytime you're showing somebody dust, you'll also be in the dust.
Yes.
So, but if you decide that I will be the best person,
Okay.
if I have anger issues, let me work on my anger. Because if you can control a conversation and you don't get angry in that conversation, you will find somehow somebody will begin to fit in that mode. For example, it takes two to fight. If somebody gets into the ring and begins to throw punches and you refuse to get into the ring, the fight will not occur.
Okay.
So if you as a lady, you have noticed that your guy has got anger problems and you also have got anger problems, now begin by changing. You don't lose your identity. Change you and say, I'm going to relax. Next time when we have an argument, I will not get into the ring.
Okay.
I'll wait until he comes down. I get him out of the ring. Then we sit on at the side of the ring. Then we have a conversation. So the greatest way to begin to change a person is by changing you.
Dr. Jane speaks of a scenario where take time to learn this person, court this person for a while before you agree that this is a person. But I don't know whether this is a cliche or a myth that you're always told you do not get to know your spouse. Years down the line, you're with them, you learn something new every other day. So in this case, within this short period of courting them, or 2-3, of courtship, are you really able to pick things that will be helpful?
You know, we are created by our Maker in such a way that we have got what we call the sixth sense, where you can be able to see a character. You know, if you stick with somebody for 6 months, they may lie, but on the 8th month, 9th month, they can't keep on lying.
Okay.
Because you begin to see some trends that are not okay. If somebody is maybe an angry person, and suddenly you can see them clenching their hands and suddenly they want to hit you, then you will know that this person, if he's attempting to hit you before he's married you, or this lady is attempting to claw you before you marry her, then when it comes to marriage, you have actually given her the license to scratch you properly.
All right.
You have given the man the license to hit you properly. So that's why we say dating is a period where you scrutinize, and we say ask relevant questions.
Okay.
Don't go just for coffee dates and for dinners and you're just laughing over there. Ask the hard questions.
Can I add something to that? Observe the way he or she treats the people around them. We keep saying, observe the way this man treats the mother and the sisters.
Okay.
Because that's exactly how he'll treat you. How he talks about women is a reflection of how he'll treat you.
Okay.
Listen to him. Observe how the lady talks to the watchman or the gatekeeper. The way he talks to him is the way he'll treat you. She'll treat you if she gets a better job than you one day.
How are you able to detect that this is a lie? How are you able to sit down and say this is a lie that needs to be addressed?
You see, I've seen so many people, especially couples, you discover your wife is cheating on phone, you discover your guy is cheating on phone, and then you kinda want, we also have entertained lies. We want to hear a lie. You're like, I don't want to believe this is true. Exactly. So you ask the guy, what is this chick? Why were you writing to this chick that you meet? And the guy lies to you and says it's a job thing. And you could have seen the string. And you want to end the fire.
Lies are comforting.
They're really comforting. So you suddenly, what have you done? You have actually given a big reward to that liar. Okay. And what are you saying? Lie again to me.
It is okay.
So when we keep on rewarding lies, you will keep on getting the lies.
Okay. Rekindling the love can sometimes, I don't know whether it's expensive. You will tell us whether it's an expensive affair. It requires so much energy and so much devotion to that. And so much, that aspect of compromise. Over years, things will change. Babies will come. Challenges will be there. Maybe you started on a very good foot and then you get to a point where times are tough. How do you navigate or maneuver through this, still keep the fire burning without having to be extra, without having to strain yourself, without having to overlook the other important things like, the human beings that have just come courtesy of the blessings of this marriage?
Many times when children come, the men tend to complain, and of course they tend to get very jealous. Because even for them, they have had it said Just the way they say that we get into marriage with a notion, there is a notion that when a baby comes, the woman loses interest in the man.
Yes.
And yes, 50-50, but the reason why is because, of course, the small baby needs your attention.
Yeah.
I always tell couples, give the attention both of you.
Wow.
Give the attention both of
you to the baby? Or
to the baby,
okay.
But for the two of you, there's a priority and the hierarchy of need for every person. Number one, we keep saying it's your maker.
Yeah.
Number two, it's to your spouse. Number three, I'll get up to number three. Number three is to your family. This is the children. So what happens? Always create time for special moments for the number two.
Okay.
Before you create time for the special moment for number three.
And
as they grow, the number three will always know daddy or mommy is the first priority.
Yes, we
ahead of us.
Yes.
Yeah, because we keep saying one day they'll leave the home. We'll be left the two of us.
Yes.
So if you are lost, because at times you can be in a marriage, but you're lost. You're just lost.
Yeah.
You don't know where you're coming from. You're bringing up babies. They inform two, they inform three. Suddenly they go, and you're left with a stranger in the house.
When you put priority to resources cannot love you back.
Yeah.
You'll find you can sit in that car and you put the radio on and you're blasting, but the car will not hold you. The car will not tell you sorry if you're going through a challenging moment.
Okay.
That plot that you have built will never come and hug you. You'll only stand outside and maybe the guys will pay rent to you. And the people you pay rent to will never come and hug you and do all those things. So we usually say, when you met because you liked each other.
Yeah.
Probably you loved holding hands. And that is what makes life interesting, the process of being human. And so we say, yes, it is important to put your priorities right and have resources, because resources make a relationship better.
Okay.
It is easier to be happier when you have some money than when you don't have.
I agree.
But sometimes, unfortunately, that is where you find people who thought about resources so much are the people who rise up maybe from poverty, and later you realize, wakati hatukuwa na pesa, we were happier. Why? Because the people are after resources. They came together as partners to make money.
Okay.
The people who come together, and they come together because they think probably money will make their relationship better. And as I said, money is good, because when you have money, you're able to do more things, you're able to express your love through money.
Yes.
But you should never let the money be the one that you're trying to use to love you. Because there are people who, if you buy a car and you are hurting, it will not go and comfort you.
Yeah.
If you have that property, that house that you built and you're getting rent, yes, you may be comfortable, but it will never come down and bow down and hug you.
Yeah.
It is about the small things that you do to each other, because the reason you got married is because of the emotional part.
The language of love
Yes.
is probably different for different people.
True.
And sometimes that language of love, you just want to share it with that one person that you love. And sometimes when you fail on that, you do not want this going out to the other party. Third party is also another problem in most cases. You're told, do not just get them in so much. So how do you do this with balance?
Especially talking about third party, we've got now the first immediate is the in-laws. The in-laws can be a blessing or they can be like a pain.
Yeah.
So it is the other spouse to determine how they perceive you, number one, right from day one. And it's the other spouse to protect you from their arrows. Because at times they may throw mishale. So it's just the other spouse to protect you.
Yeah.
And there are some that are perfectly perfect, but you've got also to be careful on the amount of information that gets to leak to them. Let them not be the decision makers of the kind of a plot you're going to buy. Because we've got people who say, oh no, my dad or my mom said we should build in Rwai, we should build in Gong, we should build. No, they should not be decision makers. At the same token, let not your friends be involved and roped in making of decisions. Limit the amount of information that goes to them.
At what point do you know that this relationship needs some level of rejuvenation?
True. You find one key indicator of something that needs to be done. You no longer have conversations.
Yeah.
You find a lot of couples, when they begin, they talk about themselves. You look nice, I look good, I would want to take you out. But along the path of life, you find now, instead of having conversations that are about you, you begin to talk about others. Every time what is bonding you is not actually you two, but the conversations you have about others.
Okay.
That is one indicator that you actually going apart.
How do you rekindle that romance, that moment? I mean, this is very common.
Yeah.
In most cases, actually, everything else could be in existence, but that one is not well.
I'll say number one, it starts with, it's both of you, but I want to talk to the woman because a man can easily get enticed by any woman, even on a magazine.
Yes.
Just passes by and sees a magazine with a half-naked woman, and we pretend to return back and check at the newspaper. The eyes are on this woman.
Yeah.
This is an inanimate being. So I tell women, number one, keep yourself looking hot.
Okay.
You've got to.
No.
That one is not a choice.
Yes.
Because yes, because most women get married,
right.
they become Bibi Wakwetu.
okay.
No, those names are not your names. Keep, number one, love yourself. Love yourself and keep yourself looking good, attractive to the eye. He married you because he was attracted to what he saw.
Okay. It had nothing to do with your behavior first or anything.
The first thing, he didn't even know whether you have come from prison or whether you have come from church.
Okay.
He just didn't know. But he was attracted by what he saw. He later got to learn where you had come from after. So you've got to keep the attraction going.
Okay.
And that's something every woman has to work towards. Make your room exciting. The same bed sheets, my friends. Aish. The same curtain. All it takes is just to change the bed sheets and the curtain.
Yeah.
And I will say this to a woman friend. Buy a lingerie. You know, I know it's cold. The cold season is coming in.
Yeah.
I know we don't like feeling cold. So we've got those warm trousers that are sold by hookers all over this country. In T-shirts, and some of them written everything. So, no, at least, you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Just keep them for later on in the day when you're washing clothes.
Okay.
Finally, remove your grandfather's photos from the wall. Some bedrooms have got the grandfather, the president, and
Or
the
even no
pastor's
photos
photo.
at all.
And the pastors, those three, the grandfather, the president, and the pastor on the wall, because you like, no. Remove them, because that man will be looking there and thinking, man, the grandfather is watching. So just make the place, the ambience of the place look good. Finally, smell good. Smell good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not expensive to smell good. And keep the hygiene. And I want to tell the man, let them shower.
What are you
You're not
supposed to
telling
do?
me.
No, it's not you. But, most men will come from work tired,
True.
whether I'm Django or whether from the office, smell good, brush your teeth. Most of them complain, my wife does not kiss me. Brush your teeth, that's the reason.
That's the reason.
Yeah, simple. It is just that you don't brush your teeth before you go to bed.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
And if you need to chew mint, do.
All right, Dr. Wind it up for us on that aspect of intercourse. I mean, sometimes we beat ourselves so much as women. It's always about what we do. So as men,
Yes.
To top up to what it is Dr. Jane speaks about, what needs to be done? I mean, sometimes these languages, you don't just wake up and you tell me,
Hello.
this is it.
Eh.
I usually say sometimes that most men will go and start their car and watch it warm up
Yes.
and wipe it as they are getting ready to move out. I think that is a complaint that we've gotten so many times,
Yes.
that women are not just, they don't want to be, it's not like a bicycle. A bicycle is the only one that you get on top and you go. But you need to take time and warm her up with a conversation,
Yes.
with a gift. It may not be so expensive, but have that conversation with her.
Okay.
But also, I will say this to all the ladies. Sometimes men chase too much. You're chasing your wife from morning to evening and she doesn't agree to be caught. So that can also discourage. So sometimes itikia kushikwa, si kila wakati ni kuhepa.
All right, it's incredible. Thank you so much. And I always say this we can talk about until the cows come home. But all the same, on that note, I mean, haven't we learned?
We have learned.
We have indeed. And we keep having these conversations. Thank you so much, Dr. Jane Kimani and Dr. Julius Kimani, sorry.
Thank you.
And that's where we get to wind up this conversation. And equally, thank you back at home for keeping me company right from the word go and up until now, and always trusting us to be your sole source of news. It was good having you. My name is Linda Alela. Do have yourself a lovely, lovely evening ahead. Bye-bye.